Tracy, I'm just remembering, I got to load, I've not had 1 minute. I got to load director's call from the other day too for you guys.
Yes, please. And
I have
thank you.
not, yes. Okay, so today I just kind of wanted to play catch up because we haven't done this in a few weeks. And I want to focus on Los Cabos and points and all that good stuff. So, because, oh my gosh, that's a great way to start the recording. Hi, everyone. Here comes Izzy. So like I said, because we haven't done this in a few weeks, we haven't had any type of movie and any type of meeting, let's just share any celebrations first with May, since we just had May, and go from there. So Tracy, you want to lead us?
Sorry, I muted myself.
You're right.
Celebrations for May. I did not give up.
I was just going to say you survived.
I managed, yes. Between emergency surgery for the dog, I got COVID. May was not kind to me. And I turned older. Dang it. So
birthday month too, yeah,
it was, and I had stuff planned and I just wasn't able to do it. So I didn't give up, and I count that as a win.
Yep.
And that's just kind of where I am, and I'm ready to go, and I'm ready to work through summer and get summer just rocking so that I can roll into fall and be ready to go. Do you want my Cabos numbers?
Sure, in a minute. Not yet. We're going to in a minute. Yep. Just have your Cabos numbers ready, ladies. That's because we are going to kind of talk about them. Next up, Ashley, you want to go next? Celebrations for May.
I really didn't do that great, and all people that signed up, except for one so far, decided to back out. And then I had those 4 hostesses that were going to the vendor event, 4 out of the 8. They all back.
Forgot I have a Zoom right now. I have a Zoom. Forgot.
So
I think that might be Shannon.
1 second. Sorry.
You're all right. Did they move? Remind me, Ashley. Did your host move?
they were supposed to. Now I'm ghosted.
Oh, dang it.
I have one that started tomorrow. She's ghosting me. She started the training and now is like
Fabulous.
So I do have, I think it is 4. Where's up there? 4 for the 20th of June. I pray they stick through it. I know one of them or 2 of them for sure will stick with it. I do my vendor event the 25th of June, so I do have to get with you and get some product and things like that.
Oh yeah. Yep.
We'll meet up or something and go over things. And I'm also for the Fenton Freedom Festival to be a vendor at that. So I'm hoping, cross your fingers, those all go well. But I'm hoping I have June to be a lot better than last month. I did do on my VIP page, hey, first person to comment gets an item half off. You know, they jumped on it. So I did that, and I did a bulk order. So one of my friends who's also going to have it on the 20th, she added a couple items to it. And so I was able to place that this morning, and it was like $190 order for
nice.
people. And
well,
then,
you're already doing better June than you did in May then, right? So good.
They kind of tell her because she wanted more. I was like, well, but she was looking at the monies. I was like, well, you can get a lot free and discounted.
Right.
I was like, help you through it all. She's like, well, I'm not that tech savvy. I said, girl, you can stop by my house every night. I'll show you exactly what to do.
Right.
So, one way or another, I'm hoping she's got a lot of family that will support her. So I'm thinking hers will go well. So
nice. Cool. Okay, well, it sounds like moving on to June, you've at least got stuff going good there at least. So hopefully it can only get better, right? Lisa, you want to go next with things to celebrate? You had a rough May too. We had a lot of oopses in May.
May, I don't know. May
I mean, you
was
only had
fun.
surgery. You mean you only had to go into LA?
Whatever. That was nothing. Honestly, that was just a minor setback.
Great attitude.
I don't know. My party ended up doing really well, so I'm not
Good.
gonna be upset about that. I had one person get a little bit crazy with me, but whatever. She backed out. I thought it was going to be a really horrible month, and it ended up being almost 2,000. So can't really complain about that.
Yep.
I did actually get a recruit. I have no clue how that happened, but hello. We'll take it.
Yeah, because she's working. Like she's at least trying to do something.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Good.
I
think I'm going to use Lisa's story just for a minute, just because I kind of know it a little bit. She was sending me messages of like, just a reminder that the customer isn't always right. The hostess isn't always right. The new consultant isn't always right. So please know that it's okay to fire them. Like it's okay to just be done. And Lisa kind of had to do that. Like she had one that was just not having it. I know Tracy has the same stories. Shannon has some stories like that. I'm pretty sure does too. We've talked about it before, right? So Izzy as a newbie, like, just know that, like, you have to be you. You have to do what's right for you. Like, and you go as like, people always ask me like, well, at what point do you, like, I think that was a question Lisa had asked, like, at what point do you give up? And I'm like, it's honestly like, it's you, it's your gut. Like, have you done everything in your power? Have you been nice? Have you explained? Have you tried to turn the tables around once or twice? And if at that point, like, if you're just not meshing, like, no, there are definitely people that I've had to just say, no, I don't think this is going to work. I don't think that, hosting right now is for you. And you give them your options. Would you just like a link? I've got other consultants I can give you even. I mean, I've had to do that. Most of the time, I'm not going to give them to somebody else either because they can find their own. I'm not going to give them to one of you guys, right? Because who wants my shitty person? but
one thing, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go.
No, I was just like, I really thought that the May $1 deal was going to be a lot bigger. And even this double hostess thing, no one's jumping on it. And I'm like, what is wrong with you people? Well, maybe for you guys, I don't know. Give me some tricks, something, but like no one is grabbing. And
no, unfortunately, this is something that I'll like say on this call because you guys are all working towards leadership and you have to know the reality. Like, I don't want to say that we're like smoke and mirrors. Because it's not at all what I'm trying to say, but at the same time, like double hostess and dollar and things like that, they sound amazing. And it goes back to, like, I think I said this on one of the calls, like when something sounds too good to be true, people back off, like they just do. Once you've been in this for a while, that's when your hostesses will start, the ones that know, like legit, like I had a $500 party, I had a $1,000 party, here's what I had. You're telling me I'm going to get twice as much as that? Like your repeat hosts, those type of people will know. Anybody that's had a party when it comes to the double hostesses. And then same with the dollar, those people that were already thinking about joining and were really actually thinking, not just pulling your arm, who couldn't afford it. That's when the dollar is going to sound amazing. It's still, it's, you have to try, you have to go for it because we all know the value. I mean, especially this time, it wasn't just $1. They could earn a stinking free kit. We have literally, in all my years, it's the best cheap quote unquote version we've ever had. But it's disappointing when you're like us and you're working towards leadership and you're working towards those next levels. And I'm glad you're bringing that up because that's where I want you guys to understand what can happen. And it's actually kind of bizarre. And I'm not promising you this either, but it can. Sometimes the months after, I recruit just as much, if not more. Yep, Tracy's saying the same thing. Because you've planted those seeds. They clearly weren't interested in $1. It didn't matter to them, whatever the reason was, whatever it was. timing wasn't right. I mean, let's be honest, timing just isn't right always, right? Like, how many of you, Tracy's a perfect example, Juice of Pete's took her freaking years to join. But you know, how many of you, like, not everyone's like Izzy and I. Like, Izzy and I were definitely jump on right away, right? Like, we thought about it for a little bit, talked about it, and the next thing you know, we were joining, right? Like, I'm looking at Izzy using an example, right? Like, timing was right for us though. Like, she was, again, I know her story, and mine was the same way. Like, she had a part-time job, kind of flexible already, baby at home, and so there was just all these little things that just like it fit for her, right? Now, someone like Ashley, goodness, if 31 fell into your lap today and you knew nothing, I'll use Jessica, she's not on here, like, they're super busy, they're running their kids all the time. This might be a month that she'd be like, no, you're gonna have to, I don't know about, and I'm just using Ashley, I'm making up a story for Ashley, but I know what she's like on a normal basis, right? Even you, Lisa, like, if it were recital time and I was end of the school year and recital time, exactly, and I was asking you to join, it wouldn't be on your radar whatsoever. So I've used enough examples, you guys get the point. So you've planted those seeds. Don't give up on those people. Don't drive them crazy, but remind them they can still join. Remind them I'm trying to get them all to book parties. That's the mystery I would love to solve. I asked the directors this stuff. You guys can figure this mystery out. This is the one I don't know. If you were thinking about joining in May and you didn't, and you're not going to, why on earth would you not have a party in June with me for double hostess credit? What happened between point A and point B? Can anybody solve that for me? That's the one where I'm like, if you were actually thinking about joining, but now you're like, no. I know you all know what I mean about sliding down the mountain, but like, seriously, how do you go from like, I think I want to do this, I want free product, I want to make money, to like, oh, I could at least get a bunch of free product? Cool, count me in. What? I don't know. That's a mystery for another day. But the point being is, go for it still. I'm still struggling with those too. So I'll just be super transparent. I have a whole slew of them that I thought, all right, it's double hostess month, I'm gonna at least get them for that if they didn't join. And I'm on the struggle bus with it too. So
One more thing.
yeah, go for it.
My VIP page, I'm trying to get more people involved in just participating. And it's like, hello,
Yeah.
anyone, wake up.
How many
and
people do you have in there? Offhand, do you know?
I think it's like 108 or something like
So
that.
it's not too terrible. Okay.
But I had a simple poll, like, did you guys get my email last night? Yes, I did. No, I did not. 60 people read it. 2 people responded, and
Yeah.
one of them has an online business as well, so she knows like how the Facebook algorithms go. And the other one just is nice and responds. And I said, thank you to those 2 people that responded. I do really appreciate it. I'm sending you guys a gift just because I'm like,
did you post it?
I did.
Yeah, post that. You know,
I want people to know I appreciate them participating. Like,
right.
I need them to participate because, and I was trying to explain it to my mom, like, if you guys don't respond, these people don't see it, and this is going nowhere. So
yep. So there's a couple of things there. Yeah, giveaways are huge, which is ridiculous. It stinks, but that's the bottom line. The more you give away, the more things you have like that, the more people will participate. But here's something that I did it for a hot minute, so I can't say I was super successful, but here's an idea for you guys. And this was actually a book I had read. Oh, and I'm not going to think of the name of the book. I'm gonna look up the book and I'm gonna keep talking because it is a good book I want to tell you guys about. It's called, so what you're doing, the idea is it's called like a sneeze, like your sneezers. So I always was going to have, here it is, the Purple Cow. It's called Transform Your Business by Being Remarkable. Seth Gordon. Purple Cow, Transform Your Business by Being Remarkable. It's very much just about business in general. It's not necessarily just direct sales, but it's got a lot about kind of just marketing and just yourself, like the idea that they're buying from you, that they're not buying from 31, right? And so one of the things that was really big in this was called sneezers. And sneezers are people who will basically talk about your business. And it's not just the idea of referral, It's things like what we're talking about right there, like participating in your customer group. And so in a perfect world, my idea was that I was always going to start a sneezer club, and I was going to treat them kind of similar to my hostess of the month club. They're going to have their own little group or their own little something where they would get, for instance, like sneak peeks. So like when my host of the month clubs maybe get a sneak peek, like as soon as I see, you know, some fall stuff or what's coming in August or whatever, they might get a sneak peek like that. As soon as I knew about double hostess credit, right? Like they would know about that even. Anything that you can do that's kind of just spoiling them, that's not breaking the bank. And there's all different kinds of ways that I had racked my brain. Like you could do a point system. You could say like, you need to comment X amount of times to be in this club in a month. You could say you need to post some photos of your own products for me and go live. Like there's all different like, I hope it's just making your brain spin. I see Lisa shaking her head. Like there's so many different things I think you could do, whether it's a point system, whether you do treat them with little gifts and little goodies, $5 off gift certificates, free shipping. Like, I don't think you have to break the bank. I think that you should tap into the people who are already doing it or have done it, or the ride or dies, or the ones that would, right? Like, I think that there's a niche there. I think that past hostesses might, just because again, they understand it, they get it, best customers, people who just like to participate. Don't think about the ones all that have just paid money though too, because I don't know about you guys, but I do like for those of you that have had your customer groups going for a while, sometimes the one participating, I don't even know who they are. I have to start going and look, and they're usually older women who just like to be on Facebook and they just play. So I don't know, it's an idea. I would love for some guinea pigs to try it. I think it could be fun, especially this summer, if it's something that you want to focus on and kind of just see if you can't help someone like your mom, someone like you said, like, you know, get some people but there's got to be a little bit of something in it for them. But I don't think you have to give away the bank.
I'm already coming up with people in my group that do
Yep.
that kind of stuff already. I have a list of names rolling through my head, but I remember years ago, I did like a couple of product reviews for you too. Like I borrowed a product for a week and then took pictures and I did whatever, you know. I think that would be a great way too, like little product.
If you have local people that would even just borrow the things, and then it's up to you if you want to discount it, let them keep it for a discount or anything like that. But literally just let them borrow it and it goes with them. I always say, kind of think of it like a flat Stanley. Like take it with you all over and snap pictures for me and just show me all the different uses that, you know, if it went to the ball game with you, if it went wherever it went, right? Like, I think anytime people feel they're part of something that's just like a little, like a VIP, like actual VIP. And so, I mean, you don't have to use Sneezer either. You can use whatever you want. I was going to just stick with Sneezer just from reading that book, but anybody else have any ideas? Shannon, have you ever done like back in the day, did you ever do like when we did the product testing or anything? I've done that too, which can be helpful. But I think in this case, I think for me personally, that can get exhausting too. Like that can help. But I think this is more of like, who can you tap into that like you revisit this like maybe quarterly. So like right now is a perfect time, June, July, August, like who wants to be in my summer Sneezer club? Who wants to be in my summer, you know, and what does that mean? And maybe at the end of those 3 months, you know, that, you know, that's when you're going to get a gift when you've stuck it out for 3 months. That's, you know, you want a call to action where they stick around and do it too. All right. Shannon, we were talking, but before you got on, or what everybody's been doing is their celebrations from May.
Gotcha. Well,
You're cutting in and out again.
I had 6 recruits.
6 recruits. I'll echo her.
And my sales were, I think, like 5,400
5,400. Look at her eyes.
figures. Probably because it's the
Good for
metal.
you guys.
6 recruits and 5,400 in sales. My team actually, I think I had 11 total recruits.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know they had that many. Yay. Your face is stuck, Shannon, so I can't
Am
stop
I
laughing.
froze?
Yes. And you're like this.
I believe so. And then I'm so sorry. That's okay. Yours just I think my team sales were like 1,600. So it's actually my best month so
16,000.
far. So
16,000.
in my, 8 years. So my team is growing a little bit. So that is my celebrations for, yes,
Okay, so she is totally cutting in and
For-
out.
May. So that's about it business wise. June's
Oh, there's her face now. Okay, you kept cutting out, but I'll repeat it because it's 16,000 team sales, 6 recruits, 5,400 in PV, 11 recruits for her team. She had an amazing month. And one of the things I'm going to point out for Shannon is she worked it really hard in May, but she had been doing some training all year long, and she had been slowly starting to do some things little by little, and she can correct me if I'm wrong. But I think what finally happened with Shannon is we all love instant results. So for instance, right now, Lisa, this is a perfect example. If you're going to start boosting the customer group and working on this, you need to know it might not happen. It might not look exactly still the way you want it to until July or August. Like it always takes that time to get things going and then get those results and those numbers. And it's so hard because we live in an instant gratification. Like we all just, and we're working hard and we want to see the fruits of our fruition like happen like now. And Shannon is a huge result of that. Like she had been working and then really worked hard in May, buckled down, and did some of the things that she'd been doing. I watched her in her customer group and just all kinds of places and just messaging like crazy, and everything was just really clicking, connecting, making her own graphics. Like I saw her, she was doing all kinds of stuff that was just amazing. So just keep that in mind, you guys. Like, I don't want that to discourage you, but I want you to just, be real and give yourself grace sometimes that just happens. Ashley, I know you've been there before. And then Ashley's an example of and then May went, Ashley had been doing that and think the ball had been rolling. And then all of a sudden you're like, what happened? The ball just went down in the valley in May, right? Like I see her shaking her head and it's like, oh my gosh. And that happens too. And it's different for all of us and different when it happens. But it'll pick up again, Ashley. I know. And she knows that. She's been doing this long enough. She knows that there's those, those peaks and valleys too. So, and I know Izzy and Lisa, I had already warned you of that, but I'm just trying to keep it in the front. And I know Lisa, like you said, you thought, oh my gosh, May was going to be less than what it was. And it was amazing, right? So, and same with Izzy, like you still have the ball rolling, it's still going, but just know, and I know life has gotten busy for you and changes and just all kinds of stuff too. So, okay, Shannon, was that everything? Can you just shake your head yes or no? Because you're cutting out. Oh, now we lost her.
Can you hear me or no?
Yeah, we can better.
Oh, well, I went outside, so I'm standing in the sprinkling rain. So, but I think it's because the metal roof on the house. That's why my internet's not working.
Yep.
So, but I can't go in the pole barn because it's metal there too. So,
yep.
But anyways, that's about it for business wise. But no, that's it for my celebrations.
Okay. Izzy.
Hey, Shannon, real quick. Thank you so much for your help when Danielle decided to go on vacation.
Yeah.
She decided. I think I would have went too.
No, I'm kidding. But
You're welcome.
Thank you for helping me with stuff. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. Anytime.
Yes, thank you, Shannon. I know I thanked you already, but I can't thank you enough too. Thank you. All right, Izzy's turn.
Well, I did just shy of 2,000 in personal volume this month. That was pretty exciting because I'll be 100% honest, I have not been as Dora's into it this last month just because it's been extremely busy coming into summer, and I did put my notice in at my job, so I guess that's another fun and exciting thing. So then that way I can have more time to actually dedicate to it, but I'm just in overdrive at work right now, just trying to get things set up for them for when I leave. So, but I did get a few parties off of my party, and then there were still some, or the parties that I had this month, I got 3 parties off of those. And then I still have a few girls that I know that they said they wanted to do parties from my launch that have just been dragging their feet that I need to get back in touch with and see if they actually want to continue to do them or not.
Especially with double hostess.
Yeah. So, need to do that too this month and get that rolling as well. So other than that,
I think, like you said, for as busy as I know you've been, like you said, trying to get the job that you have, like you said, set up for them when you're done and gone, and the girls that are there and all that good stuff. I think 2000 still is amazing, and knowing that you still have parties coming and all that good stuff. So good, good, good. And your mom just messaged. Sounds like she's ready to launch too. So
yeah, she wants to do her launch party, but then I know that she's gonna be done after that. She didn't actually really want to do this long term, so
that's fine.
I
As long
definitely
as
need
she'll
to
do that and see what happens, and maybe that'll get you more parties, or who knows, it'll get her excited. But even if she doesn't, maybe it'll book you some more parties and kind of just
For
go
sure.
from there. For sure.
Well, yeah, I know that she can at least sell the heck out of some stuff for me. So
Right.
if anything, it just gets me some
Right.
sales. So no worries.
Exactly. Yep. Okay, Lisa and Tracy, maybe even Ashley, did you talk about June? No, Shannon, who talked about June? I was taking notes. Who didn't talk about June? I should say that. Ashley did. Yes, Ashley talked about June. Tracy, go ahead. Let's move forward. Let's talk about June. Let's brainstorm just a little bit. Anything that we need to do to maybe help June still too.
I guess, well, I'm actually going through my VIP group right now. I had started actually in May as part of a celebration. I'm going through my VIP group a little bit at a time, and I'm doing 4 questions with them. And I have booked, as a result, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've booked 7 out of probably 20 people. So I'm super excited. I know. And I was shocked because there's people that I thought wouldn't book a party. They're like family, and I don't ask them very often, but they're in my VIP group. So I didn't not do the questions with them. And so I actually have a couple that are like follow up with me, but I still booked 7 people, and one of them being my sister-in-law who never parties with me. Never.
So it's kind of like your chicken list. It's kind of
Yeah.
like you asked your chicken list of like people that you haven't done. Nice. Those are some
Yeah.
good results.
And I also have 2 leads, 2 team member leads. I'm meeting up
Nice.
with one who was a team member. I'm going to meet up with her tomorrow. And then the other is my niece, she loves 31, and she just needs she's getting married, so she wants a little extra income. She wants to maybe use 31 to give gifts to her bridesmaids and stuff.
Oh, fun. Yeah. And
So I
money
was
for the
like,
wedding. Who is
yeah,
it?
Michaela.
Yeah. Okay.
So even if she just hangs out for a little while and I get her qualified and we do some stuff. She has a day job, but she is just like, this would be fun, Tia. I love this whole thing.
Right.
So
Right.
so we're chatting. And then I go back and forth like I do a little while, and then I'm doing a party right now. But I had pretty much, before I started, I only had, for June, I only had like 5 parties on my book. And now I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 12 right now.
Nice.
So
Nice.
yeah. So I mean, so June is looking 50 times better than May did, because I had a handful on my May and 3 of them ghosted me and I was just done. I was grumpy and I was sick. But so I need, just to make it to Cabo, I need 8,400 points just for me to go every month. Every month I need 8,400 points,
Nice.
because I still need 50,000.
Yep.
So, but
Okay.
now I'm planning it. We're
going to talk about that in a minute. So yes, perfect. I love that you already know, like you have a plan though. Very cool.
Yeah, working on it.
So 4 questions. I know some of you have just done them, but if you haven't, that's a great spot to revisit. And especially if there's people on like a chicken list, even Lisa and Izzy, Are there people you could go to your, maybe your friends and family customers that you didn't invite to the party originally, or they didn't come? Maybe you invited them, but they didn't come. Maybe you could still try to do 5 questions with them, 4 questions with them. Worst case scenario, you get them in your customer group, which is back to what you were trying to do too, Lisa, right? Like get it active. Like maybe you can even get people there too. So I know Shannon did hers not that long ago, maybe, I don't know. How long ago was it Shannon, that you went through your like almost entire customer group? How long ago was that? I know, a while. Long enough.
It was about 2 months ago.
Oh, so maybe almost time again that you could be revisiting. I need to, for sure. Ashley, you did it not that long ago, I feel like too, didn't you? Yep.
Yes, I have, but now real quick, how often do you us do those questions in our VIP group and stuff? Because like it just didn't make
You definitely don't want to seem too spammy with them and do it too soon. For me, I generally base it on when there's something that matters. And so I don't know if I would do the full-fledged 4 questions or 5 questions right now, as much as I'm all about sliding, as much as I would revisit double hostess, because that can change everybody and their brother's mind.
I
So
did
that's
in some past hostesses, hey, you know,
and
double
that's
host-
where I think I would revisit those people who started and or did the 4 or 5 questions. I think there's no reason to just be like, hey, I know you already answered all these questions back in March or April or whatever it was, but I really did just want to let you know it's double hostess credit. It's a reason to message at least. I don't know if I would do the whole shebang, but I think you can revisit it every couple of months for people who didn't do it, like didn't do them at all. I think there's no reason that you couldn't ask them again. I mean, all they're going to do is say, no, I wouldn't do it monthly. But if it's been a couple months, I think, again, you could say, maybe not give away, maybe for them, you don't give away what's happening, but you would just say, oh my gosh, this month is a really amazing month in my 31 world. Would you be interested in just doing my 5 questions? I'm doing a giveaway, blah, blah, blah. And then that's where you'd be able to tell them about the double hostess too.
Thank
And
you.
you could do that in past parties. I mean, you can get creative and do it everywhere. If you're looking for connected contacts, that's where I think I would start. Maybe the ones who didn't answer and or didn't finish. Cause I don't know about you guys, but I get girls that don't finish them too. Like they just, and I just say, and so there again, I would just be like, hey, I know in Lisa's party, you might have you maybe got really busy, but I see we left off on question number 3. I'm doing another giveaway for my customer group, and I would love to include you in that one. Would you like to finish the questions and I'll put you in that giveaway? I don't know, just get creative kind of that way and have a reason to kind of go revisit anybody and everybody that you can. But not to mention, like Tracy said, that chicken list. Those people that you're like, oh, I know my cousin, because we all do it still. We're all guilty, right? Like, I know my best friend, I've already asked her 3 times, or I know my cousin, they all know I sell it, I'm not going to keep asking. And when you haven't asked in a long time, like Tracy, that's when sometimes they will. You don't realize we weren't asked. It's actually us that still wasn't asking, putting them on that stupid chicken list. And rightfully so, because we don't want to bother those people. I mean, ideally, we're always trying to get out of our circle. But for those of us, like this might not work for Lisa and Izzy as much right now, but for those of us that have been out of our circle for a while, there's no reason that you can't go back and ask some of those very first ride or die and or hosts. And, it's a new season, it's a new whatever. Okay, anybody else June that wants to share June, how it's looking or not looking? Go for it, Lisa.
Mine looks awful. We've got one party.
Just one. Okay.
I'll be honest. I just got one party. Yeah.
Did you do the 5 questions in your last party?
Yep.
Did you get pretty good participation?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, because I only had the one person in my last party because the other lady went kind of weird on me.
Yep.
And so she was out. So we really, she only had like 15 people in the party. So.
And what month did we do your launch? Was that back in March? You and Izzy?
Yes.
Were you March,
Yeah.
both of you?
Yeah.
I think gently you can revisit some of the people and see if they would do double hostess. That would be where I would start. I'm not going to promise you're going to get anything there, but I think you could do some of your people there.
Well, I mean, as you're talking, I'm trying to brainstorm like
You've got people kind of come into your brain. Yeah. Of like ones you
Yeah,
didn't
like,
ask or push
let's
or
get real. This is my cousin. You can
Yeah.
help me out.
and that's something that I was just going to say
That's
was the
your job.
next part. So this is while it's only June, but you started in March. I think you could also use a little bit of this card, and that is for you two specifically. That is, I'm really doing really well in this business and I'm not going anywhere. And I need to continue to get a few of my family and friends to help me. Brag on yourself a little bit. I've already hit, do your total, right? Like you guys have both hit these giant amps. They're not gonna know what amp is, so don't tell them that. Just be like, I've already sold X amount in these months and I've done parties. I really am looking to do this as like a really solid part-time gig, right? Like I've got great leadership, great team, great blah, blah, blah. Just kind of, brag about all of it, but yourself mainly too. And kind of treat it like it's almost like a ride or die / I'm not going anywhere kind of aspect with some of those people, like you're saying, like a cousin, like you know what I mean? Those people that you could kind of have that conversation with too. They know you. This isn't going to be your new customers. This is going to be some of those revisits, maybe of people that you're like, gosh, I wish she would have a party with me type of person. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, and I still have to do the live that I was gonna do today.
Oh, that's right, because that's when you went
I
into the
went-
hospital. Yes.
Yeah.
And that would be part of it too. So when
And
you
I
do
had
the live,
everything written. I had every
Yep.
number written out, like when I earned this and how long it took me to do this. And
So really talk about
I still
how
gotta
they-
do that.
Yep. So do all of that. And then if you're going to go live, tell them all the ways they can help you. So they can join your team. That's not for you. They can party with you. Of course, you can take orders and then talk about your customer group. Talk about right here in this customer group. If nothing else, I need the participation in here to be up so that as new people come in, they see it's a fun place. You all know Facebook algorithms, blah, blah, blah. Make sure you add all of how they can help you in there too. I think, Izzy, I saw you shaking your head too. Like that kind of gave you some ideas of maybe a few more. You already knew. You already said you had a few that kind of had booked already even, but not really made them solid. So I think it's kind of similar, but not the same, but sort of. Yeah. Anybody else? June, pitfalls? The other thing I want to share, if nobody has anything, Tracy, we're going to say something, is, and we're going to be talking about this in our directors meeting, either this week or next. So you guys will see this coming soon. We got to get back to, and Izzy and Lisa, this will be huge for you. And Shannon and Tracy, this will be review for you. And Ashley, some of this will be a little bit of both. We've got to get back to all the different ways to party. Like COVID isn't over, but it's kind of over, right? Like our world is slow, pretty much back to, there's just a lot more options. There's in-person home parties, there's restaurant parties, there's like Ashley's doing a vendor event. There is kind of a new version on a catalog party that Shannon's been diving into. And I know Tracy has too, where it's called like an unparty or a scroll party. And so basically it's a link. It's kind of old school catalog party meets online, but you're not just giving them your 31 link. I think we've talked about it a little bit on here where it's a link, but it's going to have, videos of you. And Shannon just did a bunch of videos at my house. She's going to have beautiful for hers and, just all kinds of different things, cookies and catalogs in the office and getting those clubs. That's another thing that Lisa and Izzy and Ashley that you guys want to start thinking about is building your clubs because that keeps you consistent. Fundraisers, the list goes on. So start thinking about that stuff. If you want to be ahead of the game, go to Danielle's Training Playground and look at the bookings, the clubs, and the fundraisers, and you'll see kind of some different things there. It's not going to be all of this, but just everything I listed, even tap into any of us if you want. If you just heard one of those and you're like, what the heck is that, right? Like, just ask me. Because I think that's going to be part of what's got to happen too, especially in the summertime. Another thing with the summertime is meeting them where they're at. So partying right at the ball field, saying, can I bring some product and hang out with you and your friends? You're already sitting watching, little Susie's softball game, What if I came and backed up my van, your van, whatever, and we just, I bring the lemonade, you bring the cookies. I don't know. You know what I mean? Just kind of be creative that way too. That's another thing that a lot of us used to do. Meet them at the park, right? Like, Izzy, if you've got other moms that have kids and babies and you're not gonna be able to get a babysitter, they're not gonna be able to get a babysitter. Can we just meet at the park? Same idea, right? Like kids can play. Maybe between you and the hostess, you can find a couple teenagers that you could pay minimally to play with the children at the playground while you guys are looking at product and having the cookies and lemonade or whatever, right? Like just be creative. So there's all those different kinds of things too, which is another reason that you can present to people again that told you no, right? Like some of this, I know like Tracy and Shannon will be able to speak that we've done this. Sometimes it's really easy, especially when you've never done these things before. So like say you haven't done the school party. Obviously you guys are new enough. You've not even done any type of home or in-person party yet with any of this. They're your guinea pigs. Like I need some guinea pigs. I need some people. This is back to that same ride or die mentality. Like, don't worry about how many people show up. Don't worry about what's going to happen or not happen. Let me help you do that. But no matter what, I need to get in front of some new people and I need to try some new things. And this is going to help me by just letting me do this, right? And so don't be afraid if only 2 or 3 people are actually what comes of this. Some of those can be some of the biggest and best things that you will ever invest your time in. Because sitting on the couch, as we used to call it, with people, sitting in a restaurant, sitting at the ball field with these women, those are your future team members and future like all-time forever customers, hosts. Like you might not get the biggest, that host might not have the biggest party just yet. And she might, because she might add it to a Facebook party still, right? Or the school party. Don't be afraid to add those parts on too. But I'm telling you, when you can get back into literally talking with people, those are going to be the quality of all of those things versus the quantity too. It's just such a big difference. And I know Tracy and Shannon can shake their heads probably and agree. Like that was a huge transition for us from home parties to this Facebook world with COVID, right? Like our numbers might have skyrocketed, but we all became so much more transactional and so much more number based and that's the same with like our recruiting. Like you guys will hear me complain that like 1 in 3, 1 in 4 of my recruits actually do anything. Well, that's because she just joins without me talking to her. And before we sat on the couch together, like I knew what she wanted to do with this. I knew, just like I know Izzy's story now, right? Like I knew that from sitting there knowing, because I bounced her little baby on my lap with her while she looked at, while she talked with me, and she told me about where she worked already and that she was maybe thinking about not doing it. I'm totally using Izzy's story right now, but that's the point, right? Like we learned those things throughout the party and by sitting on the couch with them and doing that. So just keep that in mind. They may only be a $200 or $300 party, and they may not, but I want you to understand the quality over quantity. So start brainstorming some of that. Don't dismiss any of that and make it work for you too. Like Lisa, you're already running to the dance studio. You're already doing all the dance things. Who are the dance moms you can tap into? Instead of it being you as the host, which one of them could you bribe so that they then all know you're selling 31, right? You could even make it a fundraiser. It could even be for next year, like who needs money for next year's dance lessons, for next year's costumes, let them do it as a fundraiser. So start thinking about that too, even. Okay, 4:15, rambling way more than I wanted to. Cabos, numbers. I want to work with you guys individually. I know some of you love, show of hands if you love math, just so I kind of have somewhat of an idea. No one, no math lovers. Okay, good, that's okay. Kind of, sort of. Show of hands if you're like, I absolutely hate math. You really, really, really have to help me. Tracy. Okay. That's okay. Lisa, kind of. That's okay. I kind of have an idea because I'm here. I love math, just for the record, if you didn't know that. Like it's a weird thing that, all through school, I was actually always going to do something with math. It never until really, really late. I was always going to do something with math. Okay, so take notes on this because this is for you guys, but I was also explaining to Shannon, this is also for your new consultants. So if you have anybody that's joining and they're excited about this business and they're moving, so there's 2 points to this. I want them to know that they could still earn this trip. And I want you all to know that you could absolutely earn this trip with 0 points right now, and none of you are sitting at 0. And I know everyone seemed to be pretty hesitant sharing their numbers, which makes me believe you don't like your numbers. They're not where they need to be or where you think they want them to be. And at this point, you have to just give yourself grace. Like, you can't just keep dwelling on that. You have to move forward, right? Whatever they are, and they're better than nothing, because I know none of you have nothing. So with that said, here's some numbers if someone literally just joined and we're just launching them. So if you promote to, and you have until November right now, so we have 5 months left. So if you promote to elite consultant, you're going to get 4,000 points. If you promote to director, you're going to get an additional 8,000 points. To hit director, to hit those things, you had to have had 4 PICAs. They're worth 3,000 points a piece. So that's 12,000. Okay, so we're already at 24,000. Now, you guys are go-getters. There's a couple different scenarios. I did this one really PICA heavy, meaning that I want you to get a lot of PICAs, and I made it so that your sales were just so-so. Now, I know everybody on this call, you guys are capable of much more sales than the example I'm going to give, but I just did it for an example's sake, right? Like, this is where I want to work with you individual, and I want to, you know, kind of meet you where you're at. But this is what I did. I said in those 5 months, I want you to have 6 more PICAs. So that's 18,000 more points. So that's 10 total PICAs in 5 months. Now, what I want you to remember with that is that 10 PICAs, if you heard me a little bit ago, I said 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 of my recruits are becoming a PICA. So that's actually 30 to 40 recruits. Now, before you gasp, I already see Lisa's eyes. And I know you're all thinking, because I know I gave it to Shannon yesterday and I was like, slow down, like, you know, and even Shannon's ahead, she's doing great. That would be 10 PICAs, which means 30 to 40 recruits. I'm also saying by the end of October. Why am I saying by the end of October? Because if they join in November, it's pretty slim that they're going to PICA for you in November. It's not impossible because it's Christmas time and all that jazz, but we all know how, you know, they don't all, even the ones who are launching with us, you just can't get them to do this sometimes, right? So by October, that's an average of 6 to 8 recruits a month. And that's a lot for some of you. I know, it's huge. I see your eyes. But the PV I gave you for that for 6 months is only 20. It comes out to 2667. Okay. And that's low for a lot of you. Okay. That's your average or low, right? Like, that's 2667. None of you right now should be squirming in your pants. None of you, because you're all capable of it. Even if you came off a yucky May, even if you came off whatever, I know you're capable of it. I also gave you becoming, this is a crucial part, becoming a director by August, so that you start getting your team sales, you start getting them up there. I also really lowballed your team sales. I said you're only meeting that 5,000, the 5,000 in team sales, which would give you 500 points for 4 months, which would give you another 2,000 points. So all of that equals the 60,000. So for that first level. Now, here's the other part of the math. You get to subtract what you already have. And there, let's give me an example. Lisa, where were you? 7 something, 6 something? What were you at?
For
Points so far.
8,083.
So there's 2 PICAs already you could take off of there. Per example, math wise, because each PICA is worth 3,000, right? Does that make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying there? I mean, it's not that they're actual PICAs, they don't count towards your team, but there takes down that scary number, or it makes that 2667 even lower. So there's all kinds of playing. I don't want to give all the examples. I want to work individually with each of you. Those of you that understand this, I want you to play around with it and shoot me your goals. Like Tracy, I know you said you were already working on yours. I know you said you don't like math, but you've already been working on it, so you have some ideas. But let me look at it and say, what if we did this? What if this happened, right? The other thing, for some of the people that are on this call right now, or that will be on the call, like for director's sakes that will be on here, Don't forget, and this isn't even just for directors. This is also for Ashley, Lisa, and Lizzie. Look at that. I added you guys together, Lisa and Izzy. You became Lizzie. Is if you get a rector on your team that she also starts working towards this, those are points for you also. So like Izzy and Lisa and Ashley, if you hit elite consultant and you get 4,000 points, I also get 4,000 points. So that works the same for you. So if you get one of your girls that starts rocking it and she becomes an elite consultant, you also get those points too. So don't dismiss that you're always looking for those future leaders under you as well. And I know that looks like, oh my gosh, I might not have that yet, or I can't even get them to peak a little on that, but just, they're there. I mean, I got Izzy and Lisa, right? And Ashley, and you all came and it took time, and you're three of a lot of recruits, but it happens, right? Like Tracy's got one, Shannon's got one, like we all have that too. So don't dismiss that she's out there also. So that's homework time. That's call to action. You do what feels comfortable for you. If you absolutely are like, I still don't understand, there's no way I can make my own plan, please just message me that. Let's look at it. I'll help you make a plan. If you feel kind of comfortable with it, I would love for you to make a plan. Let's say by like Monday or Tuesday, everybody's messaging me one way or the other, either some plans that you worked out yourself, or just shoot me a message right now and just say, yeah, nope, this is how many points I have right now, I'll help, and we'll make a plan. So and people watching the recording too. So if you're watching the recording day late, I'll say Tuesday or Wednesday for you guys, right? Like make sure that you're getting that to me, because it's definitely not impossible. And the thing of it is, like, I'm going to use Tracy as an example for this, because this has happened to her a couple of times. The very first year, I want to say the first year that you were going for the first year you were going for the trip, you knew you couldn't go, right? Is that how that went? Yep. But for her, it was still in line with her goals. And so I hope you guys can see that too, that like, that's the beauty of these things. Like if you all on this call, everyone on this call wants leadership, and these are in line with that no matter what. So for me, that's that shoot for the moon and land in the stars. Like I want you guys to get the trip so bad. I want you to work for it. But no matter what, like I hope you see that you are reaping the benefits of the success by reaching for the trip and getting that much closer to leadership. Now, last year, Tracy also made it and didn't get to go, right? So, but again, she knows like that has furthered her business still. Doing all the things that she did, she got a bigger paycheck by having more PB, she grew her team, she did all the things. Shannon's made the trip, she's always gotten to go. So yeah, just want to throw that out there too, that like for me, no matter what, that's how I look at all these things. So like I didn't make PAC this year. I can announce that already. It definitely did not happen. But it's okay, because I know that I spent I know that I was shooting for the moon all year. I was shooting for it. I moved my business as much as I could. It wasn't from lack of trying or anything like that. And I know that I still reap the benefits of just barely missing PAC, but it's still, my team did great. You are all part of that, right? Like Lisa and Izzy and Ashley and Tracy and Shannon, literally everybody on this call, you're also part of me having a successful career with all of this. So just keep that in mind too. That was the main thing I wanted to talk about on this call. Next Sunday would be the only other thing. I know I have my main people on here, but that doesn't mean I don't want the whole lineage on here. So Lisa, Izzy, and Ashley, though, how does this time work for you? I know there's a few girls in some of my other groups that they are available. First of all, they're Alaska girls. And so this is their church time still when we started, because it's like 11:30 that time. It's also summertime and it's Sundays. So while I set them here, I'm not set in stone for this either. I know Sundays was working. Talk to me. Since you guys are here, I want to accommodate you guys as well. I don't want to move things and it's not good for you guys.
I like the time. 3:30 made it because I had to pick my daughter up from work, and sometimes she gets out 2, sometimes she gets out close to
Okay.
Walmart to get extra snacks for the week. Just enough time. But because long, and if we do it during the week, I can't join until
Right.
and everyone's getting ready to go to bed. So
Yep. And I know, Lisa, I'm assuming you're kind of like that. Like, even though you've got work, you've got kids running, right? Like, you're too busy.
y- this next month during the week in the evenings is just insane.
No. Yep. And I
And
know
I
there's a
just
few
wanna
of
let
you
you
like
know-
that. Yep.
I want to let you know I won't be here next week.
Yeah.
I found out I
Suicide?
have no
What?
Sunday I have I found out I have a birthday party that
Oh.
is being thrown for myself.
Oh, that you're not supposed to know about.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not supposed to know about it.
I love it. Okay, well,
So
happy
I
birthday
won't-
party to you. That's
I
too
won't
funny.
be here.
Are you literally gonna have to be like, yeah, when like you're surprised? Oh.
Well, no, Terry told me because he knows that I get grumpy sometimes and don't want to go places.
So he's
So he
afraid.
He didn't want me to pull that.
You don't want to be like, and here's Lisa.
He didn't want me to be like, I don't want to go.
He didn't want you walking and F-bombing and like,
Right. So he kind of gave me that. So
you're in good company with this crowd. We totally get you.
Lisa,
Oh.
my husband's the same way. I threw him a surprise birthday party this last year and I had to lie through my teeth and I was so anxious because he's the same way.
But you're afraid what he was gonna do.
Yeah,
it's not like a huge surprise, but like I wasn't supposed to know about it. But so I won't be here. I'll be having a great time.
You will. You will.
I threw my mom a surprise party and she was complaining the whole way. She, my dad, who she's not even here anymore, is taking us to some dinner thing out in Byron. She's complaining the whole time. And I'm just standing there like trying to not laugh. I opened the door.
Oh, she froze. Wait, everybody froze.
For her and,
Oh.
she was like complaining the whole way. I'm like, everyone's going to hear her. I can't tell her though. When she walked down the stairs, she started crying.
Oh.
But I was just, I'm like, you're making yourself look like a real big brat right now.
Well, it's my 40th birthday on Thursday, and I'm like, no one even cares. No one even
Right.
cares about it. So he's like, oh my God, will you shut up? We're gonna get together on Sunday.
You would have been so pissed. So your birthday's Thursday. You would have been so pissed the whole time too. Like I know you, and you would have been so pissed all weekend.
I'm just, it's like I make a big deal out of everyone's birthdays, and
No,
like,
I know.
and I'm like spending 4 hours at rehearsal that night. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so like the day is already gonna be dumb. So yeah, I was
Too funny. So I really quick story, but I'm not really that way, but I did do this for our engagement. So my husband and he asked, we got engaged at Cinderella's Castle, and I had known for a year that we were going to get married. And so every occasion and everything, I was always like waiting, like, when is he finally going to do it? And it was supposed to be some spectacular thing, right? And I had the dance studio. So it was like every little thing. Well, I had pretty much given up. Like I knew it was happening, but I really was done trying to figure out when the surprise was. I packed our bags in their entirety. So I was like, there's no way there's a ring anywhere and all of this stuff. This was before 9/11. And TSA took the ring out of the carry-on, opened it up, looked at it, and apparently was just like, and like looked at him, and I wasn't paying attention, thank God. So I missed that part of it, right? Like he was just sweating bullets. He had it in a camera case. And I remember like afterwards, because I immediately was like, where did you keep this? But just wait, it gets better. So it's in the camera case. And I afterwards asked him, I was like, where did you put it? And he's like, the camera case. I said, that's why you insisted on always carrying the camera. Cause he was like, I got the case, like always. So it gets better. So I've been to Disney several times. He's been once with me. So I mean, you guys all know like my ADHD, my brain, I'm just always all in anyways. Like I know everything, right? That's just who I am. And I really do know a lot of things. He's insisting that we're going to watch the fireworks up on the steps of the castle. And I'm just like, you can't see them there. This is a waste of our time. And I'm just bitched. I'm being a bitch. I mean, I'm just pissed. I'm just fit to be tied. Why in the are we going to the, why is it, sure enough, the fireworks go off and I'm like, we can't see them. And then he gets down on one knee. And I'm literally, we didn't have a videotape because we didn't ask anybody. This was before all that. If we had a videotape, I'm not kidding you. Like, I am the world's biggest downer freaking bitch. And then, yeah, and then that's really what it was. So I get it. It's just who we are. We're women. All right. Well, good stuff. I know it wasn't a huge thing, but I feel like we did touch a few things. Hopefully everybody's got some ideas and some things that they can go do to try to get more parties booked. We have our booking blitz going still too. So let's make sure that we do good with that. I'm going to revisit some of these other people. If I move the time a little bit today, is that okay? That was the last thing I was going to ask. If I were to move it up for those church people, I'm going to guarantee, like, I'm going to say, like, you have to be here. Like, you, if I move it for you guys, is that messing with dinner though? Like, am I getting too late for you guys with dinner time? If I moved this, everybody's okay. Okay. So I might offer that. I might stick to Sundays, but just bump it up a little bit. I know I have a few that get up really early on Monday for work, so I can't do it too late on Monday, on evenings either. So, and I know some have little kids they're putting to bed and all that good stuff too. So, okay. Thanks, guys. Have a great week.